Hi and welcome to day 2 of my SWOT challenge. I hope you enjoyed yesterday. I hope you enjoyed day 1. So where we really talked about your strengths, who is the SWOT for? So whether you're a sole trader, whether you're part of a big business, really this is a fantastic and simple exercise that really plots out the basis of all your strategy. And the reason why is because we're looking at your strengths, your weaknesses, all the opportunities and threats that in the environment, whether they're internal or external, they're things that you can control, things that you can adapt. And by looking at your weaknesses and where there's threats and there's opportunities, that's when we can start to pull it away into your goal setting. So this is the real fundamentals and the beginning of your strategic planning. So I hope you found yesterday really helpful. What I wanted to do was keep doing this sort of presentation style at the beginning and then move it into the more sort of desktop situation where I can go through and we can plot it out. That way you've got a really good skill to be able to go back to it. So I hope you're finding that helpful. And yeah, it's all my free tips and bits. So today I'm going to cover weaknesses. So where we've covered the strengths, so your chart should start looking like this. So we've got our list of everything that we covered yesterday in terms of the strengths. So we looked at your experience, perhaps your age, how long you've been working for, or your skills or your attributes. These are your attributes that you can bring forward to your company, your business, yourself. We're looking at all your USPs and the business situation, what sort of processes you have. So hopefully you've covered that within the structure for strengths. So today we'll look at your weaknesses, so the opposite of strengths, and we're going to be looking at your weaknesses and then ending on a positive note looking at opportunities. So let's go. So we have looked at your strengths, we looked at your experience that you've got to offer and that makes you unique as a brand. We have talked about all the business processes, so these might be your strengths, places where you offer fantastic customer service in terms of a customer journey and a brand experience. We've talked about perhaps the online exposure that you've got and in terms of your skills and versatility and the educational background. So these are all your strengths, and now we're looking at weaknesses. Again, this is like looking at internal attributes. So these are things that you have power over. These are attributes that you can control and work on. So this is when we start to look at where there are gaps, places that we can improve upon, and that will help you with your goal setting eventually. So first of all, when we're looking at weaknesses, I want you to have a really good think. Maybe there's some gaps in the team, in the structure, which is actually causing problems with your customer service. Perhaps there's a process that's not in place yet. Perhaps there's skills gaps. Is there somewhere that you feel that you're lacking in confidence, somewhere that you're lacking in skills, that will, if you actually invested in yourself, in your business, to propel you to where you need to be in order for you to achieve your goals? This is where we need to start writing down, where are the gaps? Really think hard about, yes, we've looked at what are the good points, and now we need to think about where, and be very honest, think about where you're missing some skills. Is technology holding you back? Perhaps there's areas where there's just equipment, technology, things that you need to be able to invest in to put you back up onto where you need to be in order to deliver the kind of service that you need to for your customers. When we talked about location, we talked about whether you might be centrally located. This might be a positive. If you're not, is this a weakness? How can you improve this? Does everything have to go online? So you need to think very creatively. We also adapt this SWOT analysis for personal use, for when you're thinking about changing your career, propelling yourself into a different arena. So you really need to think about, where are the skills that you're missing? Do you put things off? Do you procrastinate? Are you disorganized? So really be honest here. List down all your weaknesses and where there's gaps. So now we move into the external factors, the external attributes that are for your company, looking at opportunities. So now on to the positive areas that you can make the most out of your brand, and where we can look at things like external factors such as market growth. Perhaps there's new trends that will encourage people to buy what you're selling. This is really about keeping your ear close to the ground, yourself, your team. Have a look at, think about your customer journey. Have a think about what you can do to really make the most of external influences where there's new growth and new trends. Are there events that you should be attending? Are there events that you should have your stand at? Have a really good think about what opportunities are there. Make yourself an events calendar. Are there positive changes to regulations? If you are making the most of these sort of changes, make sure you communicate it. Communicate that across the board, communicate it to your company, communicate it to other people across your social media. Are you making the most of your customer journey? Have a real good think about what opportunities you can embrace to make that customer journey better. Also, for your internal communications, is there a newsletter that you should be doing? How do you communicate with your staff? Have you talked to them and find out how are they embracing your brand? How do they reflect your brand? Here is an area where you can think about, oh yeah, we need to do e-newsletters, or perhaps there's some kind of intranet that you can be making the most of, where you can embrace your staff and your branding. Make sure that they're also included in some of your marketing planning. Opportunities, this is what we're looking at. We're really looking at places. Are there places? We've talked about location. Are you well situated? Is there an opportunity for you to perhaps move office? Is there an office that you can share with somebody else? Perhaps list this here within your opportunities. Also, to expand your brand, make sure that you are well networked. Make sure that you are networking. Make sure that you can learn and connect with people, and share this across your social media. See these as opportunities. All these I'd like you to list here within your opportunities area, and we will be sharing these. I'd love you to join in. We will be on day 3 next, where we will be looking at threats and how you can use all this and pull it together for your goal setting. Have a great day.